growing up, like I spent most of my time in front of TVs and just not really that active and, hanging out by myself most of the time.
I moved to Columbus when I was around 13, 14. I really did have just my mom and my brothers with me. We really got a small family because everything that's been going on with COVID and stuff, everybody been dying out. So
I've seen quite a bit in my life that I probably shouldn't have. I was sexually abused when I was younger and bullied as a teenager and just going through so much abuse that, I didn't feel like I could tell anybody. Or if I did, no one would listen.
I feel like I was raised in a very, very loving home. I feel that I was very fortunate. My parents are immigrants from Nigeria, so I am a first-generation United States citizen. Growing up, it was just interesting watching my parents as they navigated, life here in the United States.
I've been dealing with depression my whole life pretty much since I was a young kid. Suicidal thoughts and stuff didn't start happening till really after my first son was born. Back then, I actually was taken to Netcare. They were able to help and get me prescribed on antidepressants. And then after a while, I had lost my job again and lost my insurance, so went without taking any medicines and stuff like that to help. That on top of the drinking and everything, it just sent me down a really dark hole.
my daughter passed away in January, and I was at my lowest point. I felt like I wasn't worth continuing without her. I did a lot of marijuana and a lot of drinking.
When I was 18, I started to suffer heavily with depression. I went off to college my first year. Then my sophomore year, my dad was in this horrific car accident. And in short order, I soon became a full-time caretaker for my dad.
Well, I've been suffering from depression for a long time as well. And just using drugs and alcohol to cope. Finally got to a point where I tried to commit suicide a couple times.
My fiance broke it off with me because I was so depressed about everything that was going on, and that day she broke up with me. I tried to slash my throat.
Having to cope with difficulties of my dad during that time and my own difficulties during that time, it became very overwhelming. In the past, whenever I had really wrestled with my depression, for the most part, I tried to deal with it on my own.
I literally sat there with the knife to my wrist, but I was also holding a golden watch and a keychain that both my kids have gotten me.
I just wanted to end my life. I just wanted to be where my daughter was.
It just scares me that I went from this happy-go-lucky kid to someone who's seriously contemplating ending their life.
And I came to the realization that what I have been doing thus far has not been working. And that if I want something to change, then I have to do something different.
Then I made a decision right there that, I need to go into Netcare, that I needed some help.
I reached out to a counselor, and she advised that I go to Crisis. And then from Crisis, I got up to CSU.
Going in, I was honestly terrified. As soon as I open up, they're gonna throw me in a straitjacket. Either that or, no one's gonna believe me or that sort of thing. But it was just the opposite. It was welcoming, it was warm, it was, there was so much compassion in the people I interacted with.
I told them all the stressors that I was having, like homelessness and dealing with the death of my daughter.
We did groups and everything, and they explained to me about the Miles house here, and Then I came to the Miles house. They were able to help me with a whole lot of stuff, signing up for food stamps, all the resources and everything that they had here was amazing.
They made me think about myself and what I really want out of life. They stepped up in a big way.
Just a lot of good times, a lot of really good, even like transformative conversations that really pushed me forward and even challenged me, like holding my hand, but also like teaching me how to do things for myself.
It was just far different from what I was expecting, and I am grateful that it was, very much so. And if you would have told me, you know, hey, you're gonna have a good time when you're in Netcare, I'm like, maybe you should go to Netcare, you know? I honestly don't think I've ever felt this good in my entire life, which is, you know, I'm 29 years old, so it's like, man, what have I been doing? You know, I thought the ceiling was here, but yet I am here now. I'm like, just doing so well. One thing that I'm super excited for is actually getting a job and maintaining that job. And I'm excited to see how far I can actually go.
Generally, I've been in like a way better mood than I have in years. Right now, like I'm in a program called Bridges to Success that helps with housing, and I'm really looking forward to that because then I can have my kids come there and stay. Yeah, and then getting back to work because with my depression and everything and drinking, it just keeping a job just really wasn't a thing I could do.
Going forward, I realized I gotta prove to myself that I'm actually worth it. I've been shut off from the world for so long, but that's not who I am. I'm a goofy type of person, and I really like to get back to that.
I feel like at every chapter I was sad to leave, but I find that every chapter I go to is just that much more exhilarating than the last one I left. I'm just excited to see how much more that I'm able to accomplish. I feel like there's always purpose to a person's pain. I'm grateful for everything I've gone through despite how challenging it's been, and I'm grateful for the lessons that I've learned, and they've ultimately made me a much stronger person.
Life is ups and downs, but I feel like I'm more prepared for the times when I'm really feeling down now. Like, I'm really looking forward to flourishing instead of just scraping by.
I'm astonished about the progress I made. Just 3 weeks ago, I was at my lowest point, and I'm just so happy, and I appreciate everything they did for me. It's important to have a place like Netcare because everybody needs help. Everybody needs that safe place.
A place like this where people can learn that they're not the only ones, that there are people more than willing to help you out.
A lot of times, like we try to tell ourselves that we're alone or that there's nothing that we can do to help our situation. And it was such a relief for me to find that that was not true.
If I had only known how truly great it was, you know, I would have gone so much sooner.
Sometimes what feels like the worst time in your life can actually be a bridge towards bettering your life and getting on a better track.
You gotta really want it and be motivated to accept what y'all are offering for us, but you definitely get the outcome. It's definitely a great outcome.
I thank God every day that I did go to Netcare and got the help that I needed.
No matter what your upbringing has been or no matter where you've come from, there is a place that you are welcome to come and you are accepted.
Doesn't matter if you feel like your problems are a little bit or a lot of it, they are there for you.
If it wasn't for Netcare, I'd either be dead or in prison or in an institute. Those were the only 3 places I was going.
Without this place, I don't think I would have even made it.
They give you the tools and teach you things to help you in the future.
there's no words of appreciation big enough for what they've done for me. It's just really changed my life.
And I honestly do appreciate y'all and everything y'all done.
I can't even imagine what my life would be like if I hadn't had this experience.